Hi, this is Ben from Maxce. Today I'm going to show you just how quick and easy it is to set up the IndexX production table with EZCad2. First thing we need to do is mount and install the IndexX table. Locate it into the holes. Using the 4 bolts provided. Mount the table to the standard work plate. Once you have the table secure, it's just a matter of connecting the plugs at the back of the table. We have our motor connection and our switch connection. At this point, the table is not powered up. The power for the table comes from the laser, which is currently switched off. And that takes care of the setup. Now we're going to switch over to EZCad2 and show you how to set up for indexing. First thing we'll do is just add something to be marked. So we'll just add some plain text today. Then what we're going to do is add, under the draw menu, we have an ExtAxis. We'll add this command in here, and the first thing we want to do is home. So we're going to use this option here, correct origin on extended axis 1. And I'm just going to name that here. We'll call this home. And what that will do is move the table all the way to the end until it reaches the switch that's inside, and then it will reference itself and call that position 0. So I'm just going to switch over the camera so you can see what's going on. First thing we're going to do is turn on the laser power. When we turn this on, the table is now locked. It's held by the motor because the motor is now energized. And then we're going to go back and look at EZCad2. We're going to select just this one here, just the ExtAxis. We don't want to select this text as well. If we select both, it will do the home and then it will mark straight away. We don't want to mark just yet, so we're just going to use that home command. We're going to make sure we've got mark select turned on, so we're running that one. And then we're just going to hit mark. So this is not going to mark anything, it's just going to say go for this one that we've got selected here. So now our table will start moving, IndexX is moving to the switch. And now we're referenced. This is the 0 position for the table. Now what we will do now is we'll just hide that one. So you'll see now the little eye next to it has been greyed out. That means it's not going to be able to execute. It's sort of hidden. We can do the same with the text, and now that's hidden as well. But we'll just show that for now. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add another extend axis command. I'm going to call this one move 100. Now by default it uses whatever it had last. So we'll just turn off correct origin because correct origin is homing. It's moving to some origin switch. We're going to do a relative move, which means it's going to move a certain distance from where it is now. If we had that unchecked, you'll see here it says move to. This is called an absolute move. It's going to move to that distance away from 0. We're just going to go relative, so it's when we do this, it's going to move 100 millimeters from wherever it is. So let's give that a test. We're going to keep mark select on. We're just going to select that one there, and we're going to go mark. There we go. So that's just moved 100 millimeters. Now, if we need to move back again, we can do that again. We can, or we can just update this one and call it -100 and apply. And now if we do that again, it'll move 100 millimeters back again. So if this is our first position, 0, we're back at the original. We're going to use this show contour here, and we're going to light that up there. So now we can see where it's going to mark that first part. Got a little red mark there. And what we'll do is we'll use this as a starting point to set our guides. We'll bring our first guide up here. And our second one here. And this is going to be our first piece. Doesn't really matter where it is for this one, it's just a sample test. So what we'll do is then stop that, and we'll go back to our move command. I want to keep that at 100, and we're going to move it 100 millimeters. So we'll just do the next one, and we'll say move, and then we can just do the same thing again to set up the next one. So we can see where that's going to go, and we can now set up our next guide. And we can do that again. Now, normally when you'd set this up, you'd use the outline of the card rather than just the text, but we're just doing a very quick setup today. Now, we haven't set these up very accurately, but it's because we don't need to today, but you would line that up to each part that you need to do. Now, what we need to do now is go back to the origin, so we're just going to turn the home back on, and then we'll just run that one. And it will just go back and it will set itself back at the origin. Okay, so now we're back at the start. We'll just turn that back off again because we don't want it to home at the start. If we just run this now, we turned off mark select and we just ran this, it would run the marking and then it would move 100 millimeters. But then it won't go again, it will stop. So what we do here, down here in this total number, we set how many parts we want it to do across the table. So we want to do 4 parts. And we're currently at 0. And so now we've set this up, ready to run. We don't want to use continuous because that will just continually mark forever and ever. We just want to run this total number, and we're going to do everything, not mark select. We could do mark selects, but we would need to select multiple things like this, so that the text and that move instruction as well. But just for simplicity, we'll just turn that off. Once we have that done, we can hit mark, and it will go through and mark. When it reaches a total, it stops. And that is just how quick and easy it is to set up the EndexX. In the next video, we'll be showing you how to do split marking, which is a different configuration which gives you a large work table. So instead of having the work area set to your lens, it's a large work area with everything displayed at once. And it splits the marking automatically. It sort of breaks up the table to do bigger pieces. Things like rulers, it's a useful tool to use. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe.